What's up, y'all? Tim Ream here. I'm on day 22 of 75 hard. 7 a.m. right now. Yesterday I got out here a little bit later. It's starting to warm up, getting a little hotter, and my camera's getting so damn hot it keeps shutting off, mid-film. But anyways, I'm going to do chest today. Got everything pretty much set up for the most part. I'm going to start out with abs. Definitely should have probably started the spring cut earlier. Next year I'm going to do a little bulk during the winter time, and then I'd say probably in March really start gearing up and getting ready for that spring cut so I can be in better shape by around May, whenever the weather actually is nice, instead of like peak summertime. That being said, I'm gonna get right into abs. I'm gonna start prioritizing those pretty heavy. I'm not necessarily gonna do a whole lot of ab workouts because most of the stuff that we're gonna do to get our abs is gonna be dietary and in the kitchen. So I'm just gonna keep some core building stuff in there, and then most of it, like I said, is just gonna be keeping track of my caloric intake and all that stuff really well and keeping that all fine-tuned. So, and then it'd just be a matter of time as long as I just tick those boxes every day. But we'll get right into it here. Start with decline and the abs. I'm gonna do some rest pause to failure, and I'm gonna do like 5 of those and then just get into the chest workout. So
actually taking action towards the place that you want to go. And I don't care who says different. This is a universal truth, and it doesn't matter who's president, it doesn't matter who's fucking won the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. This is always going to be true. What you put in will produce the output, okay? So when you see a situation that's difficult, and you see a situation that other people don't want to do, you should maybe be the person who steps up to that and says, dude, I'm willing to do that because I learned this. I'm willing to take on that because I'm willing to get this skill. I'm going to endure this adversity because I know it's going to make me stronger. All right? So look at these as an opportunity for you to grow, as opposed to something that you should run away from because it's going to be difficult. This is something that champions and successful people who are great at what they do and live great lives that bring other people up do automatically. Okay? So that's the first thing. Embrace your adversity and look for opportunities to get better and grow. Now, the second thing I think is going to resonate with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys, for lack of better terms, you got no swag, okay? And what I mean by that is this. It's not that you don't, it's that you're too afraid to show it, all right? You let people humble you to death. What does that mean? You guys all know what that means. Think about the time that you said, to your best friend or your group of friends or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you said, what your real dream was. You got all this courage and you got vulnerable and you decided you were going to tell the truth about what it is you wanted to achieve, and then what happened? You got laughed at. And they said, oh, Andy, dude, come on, man. Like, what are you really going to do? Or when you start making progress, like a lot of you guys, in your fitness journey, you see people, you start to make progress and you have people kind of hate on it passively, right? Oh, you're getting all serious about that health junk now. Well, yeah, no shit, motherfucker, because it's important. Or you start to have a little success in your business and people start telling you, oh, he thinks he's hot shit now, blah, blah, blah. Okay, these are what I'm talking
if you think about it,
crabs in a bucket. All right?
The abs are a muscle too, and so they're under the same exact dynamic as, I guess, normal muscles. So progressive overload is going to be a thing with them too. So I'm trying to make sure I keep up higher on the rep range, and I'm pushing it into that max area. We'll do kind of my max, or like 1 set to failure, and then rest 10 seconds, go again.
What they don't understand is when they criticize us for having a little success or laugh at our dreams, what does that make us do? It makes us pull back. It makes us get more conservative. It makes us not say what we want. And I can promise you, if you can't say what you want, you'll never achieve what you want. All right? It'll never happen. So you guys have to understand that it is okay to believe in yourself. It is okay to say, I'm going to do this. It is okay to celebrate your successes. Winning in life, in any area, is a great thing. And when people start to see you win and they start trying to pull you back, that's a good indication of people that you should probably work separate from, because those are the people who are going to draw energy off of you that could otherwise be spent moving you forward. All right? So guys, don't let these people who haven't achieved anything, who have no goals, who are happy floating through life, and by the way, if that's them, that's cool. You don't have to want what they want, and they don't have to want what you want. But if you want to win and you want to be successful, you cannot let other people talk you out of believing in yourself under the guise of, quote unquote, being humble. All right? And I see a lot of you guys do this. You think humility is a great core value or place to be, and it is. It is. And here's why. Why is humility important? Because when you know you ain't shit, you keep working. When you know that you don't know shit, you keep learning. When you know you're not that good, you keep working to get good. So it's important to stay humble for the reason of growth. But that can be counterproductive if you're hearing it from all these different people that you're supposed to love and trust, and they're all telling you to get back in line and shut the fuck up. You people who listen to that stuff will never win. You will humble yourself to death. Okay? So those are my 2 points I want you guys to think about this week. One, all right, embrace the challenge, embrace the adversity. Stop looking at it as something you need to run from and start looking at it as, what can I learn? And 2, stop letting your surroundings and the culture and the people you surround yourself with, you yourself, humble yourself to death. You
keeping my hands on my abs, trying to keep them flexed the entire time. I can really feel if I am whenever I've got my hands there. At this point, as I'm leaning back, I almost feel my muscles like tearing apart. You can actually feel them pulling really, really hard.
Energy into you and pushing you forward instead of pulling you back. And once you eliminate those anchors from your life, guys, it gets a lot easier to win. All right, so those are my 2 messages for you this week. I want you to work on those things this week. I want you to think about those things. And notice when you're doing these things, I do this because I want you guys to win. I do this because I want to help you guys. And I do this because I fucking care. And there's not enough good teachers out there really teaching people what it takes to win anymore. Because it's not cool in culture. All right? Well, I tell you that it's always going to be cool to me. This is about winning. And this is not about winning a year. This is about winning moment by moment. This is about winning every day. This is about winning a few days in a row, 5, 6, 7 days in a row, and then winning the week. And then it's about winning a few weeks in a row and winning your month. And then it's about winning a few months in a row, and you'll win the year. Aren't you fucking sick of not hitting your fucking goals? Aren't you sick of being the same as you are every fucking year? If you look for a reason, you will always find it. If you look for an excuse, you will always have one. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you need to fucking do it. If you tell yourself you're going to be something, you need to fucking be it. Because a lot of people say they want this shit, but they don't really want it because their actions don't back it up. Their actions aren't showing what it takes to get the result. Their actions aren't showing a commitment to being a person of excellence. It's showing a commitment to doing the same fucking thing they've been their whole life.
All right.
Things are not always going to be ideal. Things are not always going to be perfect. Things are not always going to be convenient. There's going to be.
That's one thing that really went down after my back surgery, was just all around core strength, because you got the normal flexibility of the actual spine. Whenever you've got rods tying 4 of your vertebrae together, like you lose that mobility, that twist, all that stuff. And so my core strength really suffered. So you ain't gonna be doing crunches. It's just like in your mind, mechanically, it just doesn't go together, man. Because you got just lack of mobility, right? And especially right in the center of your spine like that. So this is one of the muscle groups that's probably really sagging behind. So, you know, I really do need to be prioritizing these. But another thing too is like, whenever you can, if you can operate in that red line area, like it doesn't seem like a whole lot of ab workouts or exercises right there. But the thing is, like, I'm going to my red line, then going into it, waiting for a minute, giving a little rest, and then going right back into it. And if you get to that point, it's like the difference in, you know, if you're doing 5 sets and, you know, you're going to 10, but 10 is still manageable, unless you go into that red line area, that's like really where the growth starts. So you can do 5 sets and it's all right up to that ceiling, but if you never go past it, then you never actually give your body a reason to grow. And I did that for years, man. Like, I would do a ton of sets, but I never really would push it into that, you know, unknown area. And that's like the most important part. But anyways, okay, so we're gonna get into the main chest workout. I was doing a incline machine press for the upper chest, but now I switched it up last week and I'm doing like an incline fly. I wanted to find something that was a little bit more focused and targeted on the upper chest, and I think I found it. So I'm gonna continue with this workout this week too, again. So do a couple warm-up sets and get right into that heavy set to failure. So let's do it.
You feel good about sharing what we're talking about here. On the other hand, guys, I do get different kinds of emails, okay? And some of these DMs that I get aren't like that, all right? And they're more like this. I'm just gonna read you one that we got. It says, Andy, I just can't go on anymore. I'm working hard on my business and nothing is working out. In fact, it seems like in spite of my effort, everything is just falling apart. Like the business isn't struggling, it's dead. Or I get an email like this. These are 2 different emails. I just started listening to your podcast and I realized...
Trying to make sure I'm flexing that whole time that I'm doing that exercise there, just to stay good and targeted.
For the last 5 years, I've been making the wrong decision after wrong decision. And now I'm reaping what I've sown. My life is a train wreck and I've really hit rock bottom. And I want to address that, okay, guys?
I'm basically gonna just, with my warm-up sets, I'm basically getting the blood in there, getting muscularly and visually connected with my muscle, but also I'm trying to work my way up to a weight where I think is right at my max, and then just, I'm basically finding my max weight just to blast that.
This is never gonna work, okay? You know, it seems like we get a little traction, but you know, ultimately we couldn't see the big vision, and we felt like we were just like these people who wrote these emails. We were dead in the water, you know. And you guys got to remember, you know, I've been through other shit too. Like the year after I got stabbed in the face, and my face was so fucked up, nobody would look at me or talk to me. You know, I thought my life was over. If I'm being totally honest, I think for a minute I've never done something shitty myself and had to face the consequences. You know, I felt super guilty too about things I've done. I said to myself, fuck man, you're stupid. Why did you do that? You're a piece of shit. And I've been really, really hard on myself, just like some of these people are that we've talked about. You guys have to understand that what you're going through here is normal. I understand what you're saying because I've been through it, all right? In both my business and my life. I hit rock bottom. And let me tell you guys something. I can't explain it, but I've experienced it, and I can tell you that it's true. There's something really, really, really good about hitting rock bottom. It can be good for your business, and it is absolutely 100% good for you. So you guys have to understand, I get it. I've been there. And it was my fault.
Usually like to do my 2-handed movements, bulkier movements at first rather than isolated, but this is the best one I can find right now for you know, the upper portion of the chest. So I'm just gonna roll with it. Typically I'll do isolation stuff at the end, but I like training from the top down, and at the beginning of the workout I like doing the portion of that body part that I'm really trying to bring up, so I can give it more focus and attention right at the beginning and get it out of the way. If I leave it towards the end of the workout, then I'll be pretty exhausted by the time I get there. I might not give it everything and the attention that it deserves. So I'm trying to get out of the way first. Not necessarily out of the way, but just make sure that's kind of the foundation of the workout, and everything else is kind of secondary towards it. Give it a couple more seconds here. We'll go into this last heavy set. I'm gonna do some rocking here and thrust it up, and I feel like whenever I can get into a motion and a rhythm, even though I'm using my body to thrust it up and everything, you're still catching on the way down with that negative and getting into a rhythm. I just feel like I can get, more connected, and I can push heavier weight and have more stress on that muscle group. So feel Red Bull here.
Successful person that I have met, and I've met a lot, has had an easy life. They all have a story, and it's not like they went out and made up these stories after they made money. They're telling you exactly the truth of what happened to them, and through the process of their struggles, they learn all these skills that are going to make you be successful.
Yeah.
So if you're one of these people who's thinking, like my friends who wrote me in here, and they're saying, I'm everything that you say people shouldn't be. First of all, you need to be the approval of yourself, not the approval of me. My job is to help you, okay? But I understand where you're coming from, and I understand what that feels like.
One thing I've noticed with strength increases,
So if you're one of these people,
like especially on the one-armed exercises,
shit is going to get better, but
like triceps and shoulders, like once I go to failure, if I can help get that weight up with the other hand with that cable and catch that negative down and do like, I don't know, maybe 3 partials or assisted reps in that red line area, I've noticed every single time that I've done that, the next time I came into the gym I was stronger. And so I'm trying to mimic some sort of assisted rep or something with a bunch of these other exercises, and making sure once I do hit that red line that I'm pushing it past 2-3 reps or something, getting partials, something, dude, whatever it takes to stay in there as long as you can and try to achieve total failure. All right, we're gonna go over here to the incline machine press. It's not a two-handed movement, but the bars swing freely, so you can get, make sure your strength gains are complete and even across the right and left side. So do a couple warm-up sets on this and do a heavy set.
It's very simple. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. You've either been executing or you haven't been executing. You either are truly ready to make a change or you're not.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk my shoulder blades underneath and leave that chest high, and tucking your shoulder blades under rather than having them arching out. If you have them arching out, you're gonna have more of your shoulders doing the work. And I'm wanting it to land more squarely on my chest and get more activation of my pecs here. So if you walk them under and leave the back arched a bit, that's gonna be your best bet to put the maximal load on your pecs there. And instead of elbows tucked close, keep them out wide.
Understand that this isn't about talent, it's about choices, all right? Your individual small choices over the course of time are what compound into overall result of success down the road, all right? And this is why it takes time. This is why You know, all these motherfuckers online telling you you're going to make $1 million in 12 weeks or in 2 weeks or whatever the new thing is this week plan. You know, if you buy their course for $97.
And one thing you got to think of is how fast you're going into each workout and how much time is in between, because you do want to leave enough rest in between sets to where you can actually achieve failure. And really, if you're collapsing that time too much, then you really are getting to the point where you're almost doing cardio with weights. And at that point, it's better to just hit a fucking treadmill, in my opinion. I don't want to do cardio with weights. I want to build with weights. That's the whole thing with me. Some people might prefer it, but you know, there's that aspect where if the volume is too frequent, then it is classified as, there's aerobic and then there's anaerobic. Anaerobic is like weightlifting. It's lower volume, it's low volume and high intensity. And then aerobics is low intensity with high volume. So this is the muscle building, the anaerobic, and then aerobic is, I think it means with air is what aerobics mean, but it's counterproductive to muscle building. All right.
And when you do this long enough, when you create these little streaks, maybe you get 5 wins, maybe you get 7 wins, maybe you get 12 wins. When you start to tag these wins together and create these streaks, it's forming new habits. And after a while, winning the day is not hard. It's easy. It becomes automatic. And when you get to the point where you're winning every day and it's automatic, guess what happens? Winning becomes not something that you aspire to do. You don't have to aspire to be a winner when you're winning every day automatically. Winning becomes who you are. And when winning becomes who you are, guess what you become? You become a winner. And so you don't have to sit down and
Quit while I'm ahead on that set there, because I want to go to failure on this heavy set.
Be what it is you claim to be about. Be what it is you truly want to be. Okay? If you truly
Before my max is here.
If you truly want to change your life, if you truly want to lose 50, 100, 200, 500 pounds, be about it today. Be about it today. And then when today's over, be about it tomorrow.
I think it's important to realize that most people, even though you're going to see on TV that, you know, you see the Kardashians driving around.
Last time I did this was 250 for 9.
Everybody on cribs, and you see
So we go 250, and instead of bumping up weight, I want to stay in that 8 to 12 rep range. And so since I'm at 9 reps, I'm going to keep the same weight and just try to increase the rep range. Once I get up to 12, then I'll bump up weight.
Wealth and things like that, they make it seem as if, you know, if you haven't gone from 0 to, you know, multi-millionaire in 1 or 2 years, that you failed. And the reality of the situation is that.
And I did go up weight on that standing incline too. Actually, I went up 40 pounds.
It takes time for people to get comfortable with what you're doing, accept you as
more than that. Wait.
Brand.
Yeah, 40 pounds. And multiple reps. So that's good there.
Are going to be what you need to do, or what you need to realize.
Give it a couple more seconds, then I'll hop into this max over here. Load the weight too.
You're giving yourself a realistic time frame to reach your goals. You know, it's not going to take 2 years. When you commit to something, you know, plan on it being 10 years, plan on it being 12 years, and realize that that's the time where you're going to learn the lessons, where the next 10 or 12 years are going to be tremendously successful. And look at it as your education as opposed to, I have to have a rebuild a year from now. So I think the first tip is to be realistic and be patient. The second tip that I would definitely want people to understand is that, you know, you are in control of what happens. I can remember thinking when when I was younger, you know, we used to have pictures of cars and, you know, watches and all these things, and we looked at them, and I used to think to myself, man, I wonder if I'm ever going to be one of these people who gets these things. And I used to think of it in terms of like, almost like winning a lottery or like being hit with like some sort of magical success one, which you'll hear about a lot on Instagram and Facebook. It's not chance, you know. Before you achieve it, it seems like chance. And if you haven't achieved it, and the way they talk about it, you know, they talk about it in terms of like fortunate and blessed and all these things. And that's the way.
Didn't go up in reps on that, but I did try to catch that negative failure the whole time just to stay in that red line area for next time. I found the weight that I want to do. Next time, if I can mess around with it this time, even if it's less reps or whatever, if I can at least expose myself to the weight this workout, then the next time I can usually handle a little bit better. So, yeah, kind of, I don't know, prepping for next week on this lift here a little bit. We're going to move over here to dips. It's one of my favorite workouts right here, just because it's so focused and targeted right on the chest. I can get a good stretch and kind of, if you got a bar, like a barbell, you're going to tap out and hit right even with your chest, but with this and dumbbells and flies, you can go way past your range of motion and really get that squeeze and open that chest up. Kind of feel my biceps still. I did arms back-to-back days. It's a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I sometimes don't realize how demanding the high intensity really is. And you're kind of operating in that red line area all the time. If you do that back-to-back days, I mean, it's like cutting a little bit of a rubber band and then stretching it out and then cutting it a little bit more. Like, you got to be careful with it, because I can definitely feel that second day I did something to my bicep. This isn't a bicep intensive workout or anything, but it's definitely got some activation there on some of these movements. It's still coming into play, even though it's not like an isolated movement on that muscle, but I can definitely feel it. And I'm going to take it easy with my bicep. And, I mean, hell, that's what you got to realize. There's a difference in between. There's a difference in between I'm hurt or I'm injured. You know, once you get to the injury part, like, you're out. But if you're hurt, you're fatigued, okay, you need to listen to your body, dude. That's a warning sign that says, hey, there's something going on here. And the older I get, you know, as a young man, I used to press through that stuff. My shoulders would be clicking, like my elbows would be hurting, but now I'm just going to keep doing it. The older I get, after I've had injuries and they've set me back for weeks and months at a time, you know, if I feel strains in certain parts of my body, I say, okay, I'm going to take it easy, probably back off of it for a week, give it rest, work around it, just to make sure my progress keeps going, instead of just run myself right into the ground and then be off for 6 weeks until I'm injured. So there's the difference in between I'm hurt and I'm actually injured, and you got to learn to distinguish where you're at and listen to your body, be intuitive with your training, and quit while you're ahead, dude. Because it's like I can be, you know, out for a week and work around the muscle group for a week and then let it repair itself, or I can just run into the ground and then be off for 6 weeks because I freaking injured myself and I'll lose all that progress, dude. So the older you get, you just quit while you're ahead, man. Just to keep that progress going.
We have fucking air travel. We have fucking internet. We are able to speak like this for technology instantly. Dude, people that were in business 20 years ago, if they wanted to do business, they had to get a fucking letter. And they had to write it out. And they had to send it to somebody. That letter had to take 2 days to get there. And then they had to blah, 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 and communicate back and forth. Or they had to call each other during business hours. or at home, and they can't be like tied to the wall. Like, yeah, hey man, you know, I'm sitting here in the office. Like, dude, now we're accessible 24 hours a day. We have social media. We have ways to contact hundreds among thousands of people.
And if you noticed, I'm working from the top and down. I'm getting more of my incline stuff. It's like I did more of my incline workouts, and I'm working down gradually towards the bottom of that pec on decline stuff. I've kind of skipped the more flat, which some of these workouts are giving it, like this, and the incline, I'm still hitting it, you know, mid-range pec area. But I worked that for so long that I feel like I just want to target the tops and bottoms. And I'll inadvertently, you know, hit that and activate that middle muscle group too. But if you've noticed, I've worked from the top down, kept the blood rolling from the top all the way down that pump, and just literally try to exhaust that whole muscle group. Load up a little bit more weight over here.
One by one by one by one by one. Which, ironically, is the same way that business is done today, just through different avenues. So when you're young, and you're...
I'd like to go a little heavier on this exercise here, but you really just can't. Just because the heavier the weight is on the back, it'll start to lift you out of your seat, and then it's just not productive at that point. So I'd like to go heavier, but it just ain't gonna happen.
The other thing you need to realize is that just because you don't have any money,
not unless I want to wear a counterweight or I want to gain 30 pounds. 30 pounds of muscle, honestly, I don't even think I want that. Just I want to stay more functional at this time of my life. And like, I'll take some muscle, but really I'm trying to be easy on my heart and everything else. Like, one thing that most people don't realize, like my body mass index, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be at 5'6", I'm supposed to be 150 pounds. So if I'm walking around at 180, I'm actually technically obese. I don't know about obese, but I think at 20% above your body mass index is obese. So I mean, I'd have to be, what's that, 30 pounds, yeah. That would be 180 pounds or 185 pounds would be technically obese. Even though it could be muscle, that is still weight and oxygen and a strain on your entire system and heart and all of your other organs. So most people don't realize that muscle, that can count as obesity too, because it's actually, you know, just putting a strain on your entire system. Doesn't necessarily have to be fat. So as I get older, I'm watching stuff like that too. I'm trying to gravitate towards my body mass index a little more. I'm not super worried about it right now, but just for the longevity aspect of it, it's something that I'm starting to entertain the thoughts of and starting to think more long term in those sort of areas. All right, let's go with this heavy one set to failure here.
But the point is, guys, you guys understand that we live in an ultimate opportunity right now. There's more opportunity than there ever has been for everybody. And here's another thing for young people, 15 to 25, that understand. Most of your peers who you're competing against have no social skills. They grew up on the internet, they grew up on video games, they don't know how to shake somebody's hand and say, hey, nice to meet you, and look in the fucking eye, and have interpersonal relationship skills. So whenever you can have those skills, develop those skills amongst your own person, you're at a tremendous advantage. You have far less people in that generation that want to be truly successful than what I had, or what other generations had. So like, dude, if you can fucking stand up and make yourself it's far easier to be successful right now for you than it ever has been. So I don't worry about fucking emails telling me how hard you have it, because I'm gonna laugh at you. Period. You're being pussy. I was watching the documentary about, maybe a month ago on Michael Jordan, The Last Dance. And, of course, it's got Michael Jordan, it's got, Dennis Rodman, it's got all the guys like Jordan Pippen, it's got all the guys from that era, right? And we talk, and they're all kind of talking about Michael Jordan and their last season, and that's why they call it the last dance. And it's cool because they go from like, you know, back.
You got these farmers out here spraying these fields.
College to the seasons before the last season, and it really covered his whole career.
Shit's gonna be catching the air and coming over here, or catching the wind.
It's very entertaining to watch. And I'm going to reference a certain scene in this documentary. There was a certain point.
Trying to see if he's coming this way or if he's working his way
Michael Jordan is,
the other way.
Whether you're I'm not really even a basketball fan. I'm a sports fan. I like football.
Fucker might be done.
I like hockey, but basketball's
All right.
my least favorite sport just because I never played it. But I love studying high achievers, and it's hard to argue that Michael Jordan wasn't the best.
All right.
He does. I mean, he's in the conversation. I think he's, head and shoulders the best player that ever played, and probably the best athlete and the best mentality in sports that we've ever had.
All right.
And so when everybody thinks of Michael Jordan, we always hear the famous things like, you know, he was intense.
All right, I'm gonna do
sometimes.
one set of incline flies off of the bench, and then I'm gonna do standing flies too, just to make sure this workout goes 45 minutes. Or I probably wouldn't typically do that much volume. I'd probably do maybe 4, maybe 5. But I can already feel like I've hit my max on every single workout. So as I'm getting towards those last couple, especially on the dips, I can definitely feel that I'm getting fatigued. So go over here and do this one.
It was literally right before they're getting ready to play. And he's in the locker room, in one of the side rooms of the locker area, with one of the security guys. And they're flipping quarters, all right? And this is literally like right during the middle of when he should be preparing, and he should be like, you know, he's ready to go to battle, but he's not. He's flipping quarters and he's laughing with his security guy, and they're playing a little game, and they're having a fucking blast. And what I saw in that moment was so profound for me. I just want to share it with you guys. He was present, okay? He was present in the moment. And that's really what makes great people great. That's what makes great athletes great athletes. That's what makes great entrepreneurs great entrepreneurs. That's what makes great anything great, okay? They're able to take, and I never saw this in the way until just recently, but it all clicked for me. They're able to take what
I'm definitely all warmed up. I'm not even going to do any warm-up sets with these. I'm going to go right into my max set, set to failure. And that'll probably be on this exercise and the next one. So
it doesn't matter what you were doing or what he was doing, he was all in on that. So when they were practicing chest passes, he was 100%.
I was wondering if that was going to be too high. Yeah, it is.
He was 100% there for layups. He wasn't thinking about his girlfriend or his, problems off the court or his argument that he had with, ownership or any of these other distractions. If we could come up with, I don't know, 1 trillion distractions for our own lives, I mean, how many times do you find yourself in a situation where you're lifting weights and you're trying to get better, or you're sitting in front of your computer and you're trying to create something, or you're writing emails, and you're thinking about all this other shit. You're thinking about this argument you had an hour ago. You're thinking about this car accident you got in on the way to work. It was a little fender bender. Or you're thinking about all these distractions. You're thinking about, how your friends want you to go out tonight. Shit like this, okay? And you're mindlessly going through the motions of whatever task you have in front of you, and then because you're mindlessly going through those motions and just getting it done as opposed to putting the proper intent behind it, it really slows down your progress. Because if you think about it, how would you be a lot better if you were focused when you were doing the things you're supposed to be doing?
I don't even know how many I did on that rep-wise.
To execute on emails or on, whatever content you're trying to create, or whatever.
I know it was good and focused.
Or whatever product you're trying to create, or whatever conversation you're trying to have. If you weren't worried about a million different things, I know I would be more effective, and I know I have been. This is something that has helped me tremendously in the short time I've noticed it and become aware of it. And I want to give you guys the gift of this awareness, okay? Be aware when you're there to execute and you find yourself drifting off into other things, okay? That's not what great people do. What great people do is they pour their focus into what they're doing at the time and they address that. Then, when something else happens and it's time to do this, they address this, okay? And then when something else happens and now it's time for that, they address
Tonight I'm either going to do quads or hamstrings at the gym. I'd like to get more of the leg workout stuff on camera here, but I've only got one piece of machinery that's really tailored for the legs. And I just feel I'm not as efficient with it as I am with the ones at the gym. So even though I spent the money on it, I'd like to get it on videotape for you guys, on film. Probably at least tonight I'm going to be doing, I might do quads so I can do hamstrings here. I'll try to get at least one leg workout on camera this week, even though I'm going to do 4 quads, day in between hamstrings, day in between quads, day in between hamstrings. So I'll do 4 different days just with it broke out fronts and then backs on a different day. So I'm definitely mindful of that, trying to get on film for you guys, but I'm gonna have to try to find the fine line in between me actually personally growing and doing what I need to do and trying to work in this as well too. So I have to find that fine line on it.
So that we can actually be effective out of life and some of the anxiety and some of the pain on the table for someone else. The adversity, the struggle, the difficult things, the frustration, those are the things that create our skill sets. Those are the lessons that we learn that give us the skills to then put the skills into play and produce a better life. And if you think about it, it makes sense why we avoid the adversity, right? Like why we run from it. Our whole lives are all, taught around convenience, quick, easy, fast fix. Every piece of marketing that we see out there is about results now. And the truth of the matter is life.
And even though I started late in the year with this cut, I can definitely see progress. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, dude, I can tell that my abs are more fine-tuned. It's kind of weird because if you're looking in the mirror, it's almost like you drop weight from the top down. So you'll start to see the top abs become more visible and it'll lower down, but like there's certain days you just look in the mirror and you just see your love handles. But basically your chest, they're probably the same exact size, but your chest and the topper bit of your torso has gotten smaller, so they look more exaggerated. It's kind of weird how you start to lose weight. It's like basically from the bottom up and the top down, and it like eventually meets into the middle. And listen to this statistic. 2% of gym goers have 6-packs. I mean, dude, if you are a serious gym goer and you got a 6-pack, I mean, that right there puts you in the top 2%. Isn't that weird? But the thing is, most people I see in the gym, like they might have big arms. There's no veins, just big arms. And they're walking around with like a, wife beater on. They got a big old belly. And it's just like, dude, that is so unappealing. And it's just like, how can you, that doesn't really matter. It just looks tacky to me. And I don't want to be that guy. So, I mean, just to feel like I'm in that 2%, like I want to get my body into that 6-pack range. And just to feel like I've reached some sort of mastery over my diet, caloric intake, and really, if you can find your maintenance range of calories and all that stuff, like you really did get a better understanding of how you operate and where your body really is in reality, not where you think it is or where you would like it to be, but where it truly is as it truly sits, and it might not be where you want it to be, I think honestly my maintenance range of calories, is like 25 to 2,700 calories. before I start losing or putting on weight. But just knowing that's, I mean, you're armed with some different knowledge. All right, I'm gonna get into this one last set to failure here. Bump up weight. I can feel this is kind of bicep intensive, and I can definitely feel it in my bicep. The one I'm not wanting to work, and I'm wanting to work around. So it is what it is, man. Just have to be a little cautious as I go forward. If I think it's putting too much strain on, I'll just back off a little bit.
Be the person who steps up to that and says, dude, I'm willing to do that because I learned this. Because I'm willing to get the skill. I'm going to endure this adversity because I know it's going to make me stronger. All right? So look at these as an opportunity for you to grow as opposed to something that you should run away from because it's going to be difficult. This is something that champions and successful people, people who are great at what they do and live great lives that bring other people up, do automatically. Okay? So that's the first thing. Embrace your adversity and look for opportunities to get better and grow. Now the second thing I think is going to resonate with a lot of you guys. Dude, a lot of you guys, for lack of better terms, you got no swag. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. It's not that you don't, it's that you're too hard. All right? You let people humble you to death. What does that mean? You guys don't know what that means. Think of the time that you said, you know,
okay, can't really think of anything else that I want to cover with you guys.
You got all this courage and you got vulnerable and you decided you were going to tell the truth about what it is you wanted to achieve. And then
At FSD7, I do want to flex for a couple minutes, or at least one, not flex, but just keep an extra strain on my muscle there.
Or when you start making progress, like a lot of you guys, you know, in your fitness journey, you know.
You guys can try this too. Just gives you good muscle, mind to the muscle connection.
Oh, you're getting all serious about that health.
Now one thing about posing, which I'm not posing, but if you do pose in the mirror and you learn how to flex all those little bitty muscles, then that's going to give you a better mind muscle connection whenever you're actually working them in the gym. Like if you're trying to flex that inside, that long head of the tricep, if you can learn how to flex it in the mirror, then it'll give you a better mind muscle connection whenever you're in the gym trying to really isolate that muscle. That would go for any muscle that you're trying to bring up or target. Flexing and posing will help with that. I'm just doing this just basically to keep tension and stress on the muscle still while it's all pumped up, just to create some sort of endurance effect and bring some more intensity into the actual movement and muscle group.
All right, you'll never have. So you guys have to understand that it is okay to believe in yourself. It is okay to say, I'm going to do this. It is okay to celebrate your successes. Winning in life, in any area, is a great thing. And when people start to see you win and they start trying to pull you back, that's a indication of people that you should.
That is day 22, 75 hard. I've still got an outdoor workout to do to get my 2 in for the day. I've already read 10 pages of a book. One thing that I would like to mention about the 75 hard program is, like, yes, it can be hard, but I feel like for me it's more that it's outside of my normal routine as to what I feel like is going to get me to where my goals are. This isn't specifically tailored to it, so I'm finding myself having to walk outside of my path to accomplish this stuff. But that being said, most of this stuff, if you're actually intentional about it, you can get up in the morning. Like, I get up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, I chug water, I read 10 pages of a book, walk over to my computer, do a progress picture, and then come to work out. Like, dude, you've already got 4 of the tasks out of the way within about the first 3 hours of the day. Boom, it's done. At that point, you got to get one more workout in. You have to follow a diet, don't drink any alcohol, and it's pretty much it. Like, you've already done it. Like, if you can be intentional and get the shit that needs to be done out of the way early on in the day, then it's not hanging over your head. But I'll tell you, it's drink a gallon of water is the other one. But the worst thing that for me is whenever I get to the end of the day and I realize I'm still looking at 3/4 of a gallon of water. I'm like, fuck, dude, I fucking forgot that water. So you definitely got to be intentional and have it in your mind, waking up and being intentional and making sure you plug this stuff in and really get a good head start on it in the beginning of the day. So you are kind of on the downhill slope from there. But anyways, all around, it's a really good program. It's not even necessarily for the fitness aspect of it. It's more of a mental toughness program, doing what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, and not deviating from it. So I can definitely tell that I am, it's kind of weird because you get to the point where you are doing the things you say you're going to do, and since you're doing that stuff, then it's almost like you're walking in more congruence with your thoughts. It's almost like whenever you have a thought, you're actually doing it, rather than you have a thought, then you mentally masturbate, talk yourself out of it. Like you're just more one with, you know, what's going on in your mind, and it's like you're just speaking your mind, dude. You're saying things. It's cool, man. I like that aspect about it. But anyways, like I said, this is day 22. I'm glad I was able to get this on film for you guys. I'm going to try to get a little bit more on film as I go. I've had probably 6 or 7 of these 22 days that I haven't gotten on film, just because I've been busy paying rent, credit cards, all that shit. So, but anyways, you guys, I appreciate you following along, and yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. So.